Do you find it hard developing self-discipline? Do you ever have those goals and dreams, but for one reason or another, you start and stop? In today's video, I'm going to share ways on how to develop self-discipline. And those are going to be 5 ways. So quickly, let's go straight into it. The first idea is, I want you to write down your why. So why do you want to develop self-discipline in that area of your life? Maybe it's going to the gym to exercise so you can become healthy. Maybe it's growing your business. Maybe it's growing your sales. So the first thing I want you to write down is, why am I trying, or why am I developing self-discipline in this area? Because we all know when you have a why for something, you will be more compelled to follow through. The stronger the why, the more action you will take. So write down a deep down why, especially something that's coming from within. Yes, it's good to have an outside why, but why are you doing this? So for me, why am I shooting these videos? It's because I want to inspire and motivate people to go after their goals and dreams. So even those days when I don't feel like shooting videos, guess what? I go back to my why. Those days when I don't feel like going to the speakers club, I go back and ask myself that why. So I want you to ask yourself, why do I want to develop self-discipline in area X, Y, and Z? See, when you have your why, it's going to help you go through those difficult times. When you have your why, it's going to help you go and take action on those days when you don't feel like doing anything. When your feelings are saying to you, chill out, you're so tired, you didn't have enough sleep. So I want for you to start with your why. Why do you want to develop discipline in anything you want to develop? Because guess what? This is going to help you to follow through on that thing that you want to create that self-discipline in. Number 2 is, I want you to develop what they call baby steps. See, if you've got a big goal and dream, the chances are it's going to take so much energy, so much time. And most of us quit even before we start, because we say to ourselves, oh, this goal is so big. I don't see how I'm going to be able to accomplish it. So this is where the power of baby steps come in. So whatever goal you're going through, I want you to chunk it down into tiny baby steps. We've had that saying, micro wins lead to macro wins. It's that baby step that's going to lead you to that big macro win. And the way you do this is, let's use an analogy that we can all relate to. Let's say you want to lose weight. See, I use this analogy so much. When you go to the gym, go and work out, even if it's 10 minutes every day. First, you develop the habit, and then you can look at developing mastery. Because guess what? You can't go all in and expect to do something at once. You gotta use those baby steps every single day. Instead of doing something massively, do it in baby steps. Like in the last video, I shared how I wrote my book, 3 Lessons I Learned from My Dad. It was through writing 10 minutes a day. In the morning, I would wake up and set my alarm for 10 minutes. And guess what? Sometimes it was even more. So I want you to really drill down into the smallest steps that you can do every single day until it becomes a part of who you are. Then you can increase it to 20, 30, 40 minutes. But it's after you've ingrained it into your subconscious. It's after you don't have to think about it anymore. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about it. When you wake up in the morning, automatically, because you've been doing it for so long. That's exactly what it's going to take for you to develop self-discipline towards achieving your goals and dreams. It's what's going to take you to develop self-discipline towards that big project that you think seems insurmountable. So let's straight away go into step number 3. The other one is, I want you to do it first thing in the morning. Yes, why am I saying this is going to help you self-discipline? See, most of the time, we have so much going on during the day. So sometimes if you don't do something in the morning, the chances are things are going to come your way that will blow you off course. And for me, again, my book, it's the first thing I used to do very early in the morning. In fact, before I went to work, I'd written something. So when you do something in the morning, think about it. How many times have you said you're going to go to the gym after work? Guess what? After work, you're exhausted. Sometimes you stay and you don't, they ask you to do overtime, so that by the time it gets in the evening, you're so exhausted, you say, I'm not going to go. But what if you've done it first thing in the morning? Whatever happens, I like to say you've already won that day before it's begun. See, when you do something first thing in the morning, when you wake up first thing in the morning, do it. Guess what? It's even going to get ingrained into your subconscious quicker, because when you wake up, it's the first thing you've done. So do it first thing in the morning, because all the challenges that will come up. How many times have you said, oh, I was supposed to do this, but I didn't because I had a bad day? The chances are, if you have a bad day, you're not going to be compelled to do that thing, to work on that side business. So that's why I tell people, do it first thing in the morning. Guess what? If you wait, then the chances are you're not going to have energy. Things are going to come up that will take you, of course, towards developing that self-discipline. Okay. Tactic number 4 is I want you to get an accountability partner. Again, let's talk about going to the gym. How many times have you talked yourself out of going to the gym? But if you had someone accountable or someone you had to report to, guess what? Those days when you don't feel like it, you'll be like, oh my God, they're going to cash me out on this, so I gotta go. And especially if you've got a buddy you go with, then guess what? They're going to get on that phone or knock on the door and say, you know what? Let's go to the gym. I know you don't feel well. I don't feel well as well. But guess what? We made a commitment to do it, to exercise 3 or 4, 5 days a week. See, I personally believe the more you have someone accountable, the more you're going to take action. Let's say if you're going to do something 6 days a week by yourself, guess what? When you're with someone, when you're by yourself, you're probably going to do it 3 days a week. But when you're with someone, the chances are you're going to do it 6 days a week, because you know you got someone that's accountable to you. And you know, sometimes as well, if you put a price on it as well, if you put a fine, you say, if I don't do this, then guess what? I'm going to spend this, I'm going to pay you this. Then guess what? You're going to be more compelled to take action. And this is what you'll be able in the end to develop that self-discipline that you've been finding hard to do, because you know someone is counting on you. Like me as well now, even today I don't feel well. I didn't feel like shooting this video. I don't feel my best, but guess what? I promised my fans I put up a weekly video, and guess what? I have to shoot this video no matter how I'm feeling, unless I can't talk, unless I've lost my voice. So get an accountability partner. For me, my accountability is my audience. I promise them that I have to put out a video every single weekend. So accountability is so important. It's going to help you develop that self-discipline where you're going to get all excuses off that table. And lastly, but not the least, yes, tactic number 5 is I want you to track your actions. See, tracking is one of the most important things that will help you develop self-discipline. I look at it this way. See, when you're tracking something, for example, let's say gym, again, we're using this example because we cannot relate to it. You say you're going to go 5 days in a week. When you look at your tracking on the calendar and you look at last week that you went 3 or 4 days, guess what? You're going to say, oh my God, I gotta keep the promises I made to myself. So this time, then you see a pattern 5. And then when you look at it and say it went down, and then another one. So time is going to come when you're going to say, oh, I'm done my 5 days last week. I got to keep up this week. And then you're going to start to see a pattern where you're consistent with whatever you are doing. So here, you're like, oh my God, this is now something that's becoming consistent. So you're tracking it. When you track something, then guess what? You're going to see a pattern. And once you see that consistency starting to develop, then guess what? Eventually, you're going to stay on track. And before you know, you will have developed that habit. And lastly, but not the least, like I said, I want you to be consistent. Stay consistent in everything that you do. It's through consistency that you're going to be able to develop that habit. So let's straight away go into that. Let's have a quick recap of the tactics. Number 1 is, why are you developing that habit? So the power of why. Number 2 is, use baby steps That will help you develop self-discipline. Number 3 is do it first thing in the morning. Number 4 is get an accountability partner that will hold you accountable towards what it is that you set out to be. And lastly, but not the least, is tracking. Tracking will make sure that you develop that consistency, that you develop that self-discipline that you are acquiring. That was this video, and please do me a favor, if you like these videos, share with friends and family, and also comment, but most importantly also hit that subscribe button and that notification, so every time I upload a video you will be notified. That was this video, and as always, remember to develop self-discipline in everything you do, because it will lead you to places that you never dreamed possible. I will see you next week. Have a fantastic day. Mwah.